If you watched our live celebration of this channel reaching 1,000 subscribers, I promised to upload the trip to Prinknach Abbey separately because let's just say technology was not my friend when playing the pre-recorded video. You can find that video in my live playlist, and I owe a huge thanks to the special guests that saved the day. So let me tell you a little bit about the people we had on panel. Kristen from Let's Unpack That, who made a big announcement. We had Joey Brooklyn, a content creator that takes viewers on a journey of discovery with the rich history, food, and culture of Brooklyn, New York, and tons more, like beautiful sunsets and wonderful Christmas lights. We had retired NYPD Sergeant Bill Cannon from Police Off the Cuff, who goes through riveting crime stories, appears on true crime documentaries, and has expert guests. We also had the king of crime time, Duty Ron, who is a retired New York Police Department police detective who talks all things true crime from a police detective's perspective, with breaking news, forensic analysts, and guests all geared to helping victims and the public understand what's going on. And if you want to know who Popeye is, then you'll have to watch the live video. So please go and subscribe to these wonderful creators. I have left their details in the description area. Okay, time to buckle up as we can hear my grandpuppy Ziggy does not like car rides, so I will turn the background sound down. Oh no, I better turn it down a bit more than that. So we're going to be traveling for about 10 minutes. Not to worry, I speed up the video as the lanes are very bumpy. So we're climbing to the top of this hill, which is about 197 meters high, and when we reach the top, it is called Cranham Common. Eventually we'll get there. You will see some rain puddles, and in heavy rain, flooding can make these roads very dangerous. Oh, poor Ziggy, he really does hate to drive, so I'll turn the background sound off completely to make your journey a little more comfortable. Now, I do have a playlist on driving matters. Doesn't matter where you're from in the world, I'm sure the information will be applicable. And if you're from England and Wales, then it will have some new laws that come out for us. So there is a risk to driving fast on these lanes because out of nowhere, you can come across a pedestrian, or in this case, I had to stop for a cyclist, which you'll see in a second. The stats for 2018 to 2022 shows that 56% of pedal cyclists' fatalities occur on rural roads compared to 30% in traffic. So be extra careful. I had to wait till it was safe to pass, as there's not enough room for two cars, as you'll see. And you know, this is something that I always tell people, just be really safe. So what I did was I stayed a safe distance from the cyclist and drove slowly. That way, if a car came up from behind, they would see me first. Okay, what I've done is clip the video instead of speed it up, and we've just now turned onto a 2-lane road that continues a further 283 meters to Painswick Beacon. I don't know why I can't say that. And this will have when you get to the top of that, it will have a 360-degree view. Though we only travel for about 5 more minutes on this road, and then we turn off to Prinknach Abbey. Okay, in a minute I'm going to show you an aerial view of the Abbey grounds, as it is just stunning, the buildings and everything. So this area is part of the Cotswolds, and if you've seen the Bridget Jones Diary movies or Harry Potter movies, then you might know that they were filmed near here. So I want to first stop and show you the view from looking down to where we just drove up from, and we'll get out of the car because the windshield does have a bit of a tint, so the color isn't perfect. So let's do that. So now's a good time to show you some aerial views. So I'll just let you look at those of the grounds and where the monks live. And then we'll get out of the car and we'll look at the view from where we just came from. And if you squint, you'll be able to see Gloucester Cathedral. And that's where some of Harry Potter was filmed. So I'll just let you look at that and I won't talk for a few minutes. How about that? Okay, I was only teasing. You'd have to have bionic eyes to see the cathedral. So we are now pulling up to the Prinknach Abbey, and once we get there, you'll see to the right a mauve or purpley colored tree. If the gates were open, we could drive down there and you could see the chapel. Now, this is my local chapel where I would go to Sunday Mass. The monks make incense from the wildflowers on the grounds. The Benedictine monks are Catholics and live in the palace or manor that you can see to the right. They live by the Benedictine rule, which is not too different from living by the rule of the law. So here, let's listen to a short clip that explains this rule.
Gospels. It's kind of the Gospels put into practical Christian living. Originally, St. Benedict wrote his rule, and you could say monasticism came about because it was no longer illegal to be a Christian in the 4th century. And so Christians seeking out to live an authentic interpretation of the gospel sought the solitude of the desert and what they called the spiritual combat of the desert, where one went out to battle vices, to battle Satan and the demons. And that's really the root of monastic life. And the rule became a way for cenobites, that is, monks living it together. The rule became a way for them to live in the bonds of charity and to seek God together. And so the rule is really a synthesis of practical living of the gospel in community.
Look at my grandpuppy Ziggy. He couldn't wait to get out of the car and get to the Prinknach Abbey Cafe. So I have left the clip in the description area. So when I heard this, I thought, aren't we all in this true crime community on YouTube? Because we are interested in the rule of law. We have a common interest in understanding justice, making sure criminals are brought to justice. It got me to thinking, is the rule of St. Benedict any different to the way we all live? And the monks live a contemplative life, which means to think deeply and seriously through reflection. And I thought, isn't that what we do in law all the time? We're always contemplating. I'm always thinking, has the judge made a fair ruling? Has the jury applied the law fairly? We all have a different understanding about the law. So these are thoughts I ponder all the time. And I wanted to share this trip with you to Prinknach Abbey. Even if you're not religious, don't we all want a fair and just legal system? It's kind of ironic. When I was putting this trip to Prinknach Abbey together, it resonated with me. And I was thinking we need to be more critical of how the law is applied. Then I heard Steve Gosney, a great appeals attorney in the USA, just a few days ago after I published my live stream, say this. Let's have a listen.
I've been contemplating some stuff on law. And, I know a lot of people like to hear my law stuff, and I had a couple thoughts on law. And that is, one of the things is people, we get a lot of law stream people are way into this idea of following the law and what is the law and what should the law be, right? And so people zero in on that, and they're like, okay, what should the law be, and was that a good objection in the jury trial, right? Well, there's a few things. These are some bigger observations that you may not get with somebody who are peddling law to you as some sort of ideal or some sort of wonderful system. And it could, it could be good, not, perfect by any means, but law can be good when it's done correctly. Well, here's some unseen ways that law is not done correctly. Here's some unseen ways that law is subverted, and you, as a member of the public, don't even see it. And the first thing is the judges don't follow it. The judges, the prosecutors, just don't follow the law. So, if you have a judge and a prosecutor who don't want to follow the law, there's nothing a defense attorney can do about that. Now, you can object, you can file motions and eventually appeal. But then if your appellate courts don't write and don't reverse and support everything that's done below, the law is irrelevant. All the beautiful law that we've created is ignored. And I will say that happens.
I've left the clip there to leave you on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I hope that you go and listen to the rest of his video. I've left it in the description area below. And here's another similarity that I found to the Prinknach Abbey. They have a motto that reads, "Guests who present themselves are to be welcomed as Christ, for he himself said, 'I was a stranger and you welcomed me.'" This is kind of the way I view YouTube. We are all strangers, and hopefully we get to know one another with a common interest in the law. We analyze cases, we contemplate motives, we form opinions and discuss the law, and we seek justice for victims by sharing our experiences and interests. By leaving a comment, you may help someone else that will read your comment. And of course, I love to read all comments as they are valued, and together we can be more informed. And this information may help you or someone you know.